What's going on, guys? This is G-Force coming at you with another video. I just wanted to share some good stuff, some good content, and some good information for these two upcoming games. I just mainly want to cover three areas of these games, such as the plot behind them, the multiplayer, and also just side notes that you should be aware of when it comes out to purchasing one of these games. And the first one is Battlefield 2042. It all started when the world had major events such as climate change forcing government powers to enact on them by forcing their own citizens on exile from their own country. Fortunately, many of those citizens came together for mutual survival, becoming known as these non-pats. These non-pats are also known as non-patriot. And in 2040, a space debris storm caused a Kessler effect to occur where most of these satellites orbiting around the Earth cease to function and crash into the planet. A global blackout takes place, plunging into the world as communication grids are destroyed and supply lines are halted due to that. The US and the Russian Federation are the only two countries still standing after all this catastrophe. These two nations begin to want to start war over food and fuel supplies by hiring these non-pats in order to maintain that power. But in the midst of all this war, nothing was certain, so these non-pats were and had to choose a side. And the mystery still remains, which side did they choose? Alright guys, now that you guys know the backstory behind this game, now let's get into the multiplayer aspect. So multiplayer offers massive conquest maps up to 128 players, but only for certain consoles such as PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, and S players only. The reason behind this, it's very simple. The amount of graphics that needs to go into this game during that gameplay, it's too much for these older generation consoles, which I don't want to call them older because I am personally a Xbox One user, but apparently these are too old to support the graphics and the amount of mechanics that it needs for these 128 player game. But anyways guys, the bright side is that these are all cross-playable platforms. Don't worry guys, for the Xbox Ones and the PS4 players, you will be allowed to play as well, just only up to 64 players only. And side note, you can only enable cross-play between PS4 and Xbox One players. And now let's move on to my personal opinions of things that I do like about Battlefield 2042. And some of these are the quote-unquote change the rules of war is the most exciting phrase of the game that was being introduced as a new feature. Honestly, if you see, and I'm going to put it up there, you're going to see the way they fight, the style of it, of putting bombs on that car, blowing it up so you can blow up another vehicle or another airplane. And it's exciting because it used to be like that, but then I don't know why. I think Battlefield disabled it for a while, and then now they're coming back with that idea, which is great because it just changes the rules of war. You don't expect that. You don't see that on Call of Duty. You don't see that on these other games that you can blow up a vehicle so that you can crash it into another vehicle on the enemy side, which is amazing. It's pretty hilarious. It makes it more exciting and more fun. Another sweet feature, honestly in my personal opinion, is the way you change weaponry attachments. And I'm going to show you a quick example. So right here where they're going up the elevator, so look, right before they're about to engage into another fight, he's going to change his scope, he's going to change his amount of rounds and his grip, and look at him right there, he changed it and he's already fighting again in the game. And honestly, you don't really see that with Battlefield. They don't do that, or other Call of Duty games, should I say, because Call of Duty, you can only get it once, you can only change attachments once you die, and it was the same thing with Battlefield beforehand, but now they changed it. They're changing the style of it, which is great, because, you know, sometimes, hey, you know, you're going for longer range, you want to change up your scope, or you're going for shorter range, you want to change up your scope, your grip, so you can be faster and maneuver quicker. Lastly, I don't have to speak for it, but it speaks for itself. The graphics look amazing. The details to those graphics, the details to every single little thing, especially to the human-like characteristics and the features behind them, they look so real. It looks amazing. And my personal opinions, when you have something so detailed and refined, it just shows the amount of work that you put into the game in order to create it for the people. Now let's move on to Call of Duty Vanguard. Now, the main four players that you will be playing will be Lucas Riggs, Sergeant Arthur Kingsley, Lieutenant Wade Jackson, and Lieutenant Paulina. These four playable characters overcome desperation and chaos of war, captured by the Axis power, each rising from the trenches to become one of the original operatives, the prototype for the modern-day Special Forces soldiers as they fight through victory in tide-turning battles across the globe. And if you didn't know this, the four Special Forces characters of Call of Duty Vanguard are based off of real individuals that fought in the World War II. Now that you know the backstory of this game, let's move on to the multiplayer aspect. In multiplayer, they are featuring a new game mode called Champion Hill. There are 60-second team deathmatches on a variety of small maps, all located within one massive map, which is a combination of 4 combat arenas and a central buy area. Depending if you're playing duos or trios, the number of lives is shared amongst each other. The last squad with remaining lives wins. Side note, don't be fooled by the people on the rails on the side of the map, because they can fool you and you can get killed because you think that's the enemy, but that's actually just a spectator. Now let's move on to my personal opinion of what I look forward to Call of Duty Vanguard. Honestly, Treyarch, they always deliver when it comes down to zombies, and that's something that I'm looking forward to, is zombies. Because zombies, by far, they always do a great job since Black Ops. I've always remembered playing that when I was growing up, Black Ops, the very first one, and they had zombies that were just fantastic. Great graphics, great mechanics to it. You know, the game modes, every time they would bring out a new set of maps with the DLC maps or whatever it is, they always made it fun, they always made it new. And here you go, as you can see, almost 31 million copies that they sold of this game. Almost 31 million copies of that they sold. That's not even including the DLC packs. And if you don't know what DLC packs are, they are just basically a consistency of 1 new zombie map, 1 to 2 new zombie maps on top of multiplayer maps that can be added on if you can purchase it with $20 or just whatever the currency was at your own country. And I'm just gonna wrap it up just saying, all in all, these both games, they both bring unique traits, unique styles to their audience of their style of playing. And if you want a more realistic, a more exciting ground war with unique gadgets to that ground war, then I'd say go with Battlefield 2042. If you want a game that is more fast-paced, more competitive, and you love zombies as much as I do, then just go with Call of Duty Vanguard. It's a no-brainer. If you guys can comment down below what game you guys are going to play, let me know. Alright guys and gals, hopefully you guys liked that video. Hopefully I can get a smash on that like button. Hopefully I can get a subscribe if you guys like this good content.